Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody, morning. Folks, don't know what is happening with me this morning, but for some reason, none of my cameras are working. And I just don't know why. It must be the hobby that I tried walk the other day, no? I look, I walk, yeah. Maybe it's the internet, I don't know. What is that you think? I don't know. Probably need a new modem. I think that's what it is. That's something with my Wi-Fi. I don't know. But that's how I connect my cameras to my system via Wi-Fi. Until I could get the real expensive stuffies. This is how I have to work, man. So it's probably my Wi-Fi connection. But call the cable and see if they could give me a new modem, daddy, bro. Let's see what's going on with that. But nevertheless, we are here this morning. If you can hear me, give me something there in the comment section to let me know, well, yeah, we vibesy. Are we good to go? Cause, man, what's going on here this morning, bye. Came in, turned on, see what's happening, and it seems that nothing is working. And I just don't know why. Because if I put it on, it should be on. And if I turn it on, it should be on. I don't know why. It's not working. George Henry, where you say need an upgrade? Well, as soon as the government change. George, you're very out of order. Stop with that. The man said I need an upgrade. Okay, my lad. As soon as the sugar cake start to roll again. Oh, let me just say a big shout out and thanks to all the people who have been, sending a little PayPal, a little Cash App. I got a big donation via Jad from Bermuda. OMG. Folks in Bermuda, look at me, international and thing. Yeah, man, shout out to all nationals home and abroad. That's what we do. We fight for people because, true confession, and I've said it already and I'll say it again, when it comes to the overseas votes, I personally, me no like it. That's my personal view. But my personal views and my liberty, so to speak, ends where other people start. And I think that's the hallmark of being a true human being, a true earthling. You have to see things from others' perspective. And if you could do that, and if you could respect that, man, your life would be 10 times better. Some people just miserable because, not for misery's sake. I understand them. But hear me out. I know that there are some overseas nationals who really and truly, they don't pay attention much to what's going on back home because they probably got their own lives out there to live and, things probably going on with them here, there, and everywhere on the outskirts or whatever. And so I fully well understand, what's happening out there. And so I don't have a problem personally with the overseas vote. But my thing is, if you want to be a part of this process, then obviously you must make yourself aware of the issues that we face back home. And I'm sure that they're not that different to the issues that you face wherever you reside. I'm sure you have issues of housing, issues of transport, infrastructure maintenance, the usual back and forth, ideologies clashing and what have you. It's basically the same thing we have here in St. Kitts. And the Constitution affords you the right to associate with whomever you want. And people should respect that. But at the basis of all of this is right and wrong. And there might be a couple of gray areas with regard to certain things, but at the end of the day, there must be something called right and something called wrong. And you can't tell me that you see something happening, you observe something happening, and you can't call it for what it is just because. You understand? And so I know that there are people living abroad who may say, well, I am a PAM or I am a Labour. And no matter what any one of those two parties do, I am not shifting my support. Nobody's asking you to shift your support. But at some point in time, you have to come to the realization that your passport say, a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis. Nowhere in your passport or your birth certificate is it mentioned PAM or Labour. And I think that people put their party in front of their obligation as a national of a particular country. Just like in America, you could have Democrats and you could have, what do you mean? Democrats and Republicans. But if you look at the things that these particular parties bring, if they affect your life in one way or the other, I mean, you have to make a choice between the two. You have two choices. Make a choice. And if the one choice that you make is for the best or the betterment of your country, that should be your choice. You examine the two. I mean, when I hear some people say, oh, me not see me representative yet. Me candidate no pasture boy me yet. Me not see them yet. And I'm like, okay, so you ain't see your representative yet. What does that mean? That you can't vote? That you can't make a decision? That you cannot listen to the different meetings, listen to the various interviews, and make a determination? You have to see the candidate in person? And you're making it a point of that to see them in person? And you see, I totally get where that is coming from, because some of these candidates, whether we want to admit it or not, and they're from both sides, once they win their seat, you hardly see them back in the constituency. They're busy doing, quote unquote, the work of the people. That is what this last government tell us. We are busy working for you. That's why you ain't seen us, because we're busy working for you. Okay. And then when you look at healthcare, nothing to do. You look at cost of living, nothing to do. Minimum wage, nothing to do. Pap and peace, that's the claim to fame. You drive down the road, patrol, bust your tire, you still got to go buy a tire. The tire got on 17% VAT. VAT is something that they came to power on. All now the VAT can't move from 17%. It's steady at 17%. Surplus after surplus. And they fool the people into thinking that, oh, well, once we get in, we're going to undo everything that Douglas did because it was damaging. Man, everybody pays taxes, yo. But it's how you balance and manage those taxes. It's what you do with them. Infrastructure, healthcare, education, social services, upgrading your systems, making the ease of doing business, I mean, come on. These are the things that the tax dollars are supposed to be doing. But there's a lack of these things. Some of these things still need fixing. Like, there's a lot more work to do. So what the hell are you busy doing? So I understand when people say, and don't get me wrong, I understand where it comes from. Because sometimes after they win, you can't see them. But in the same breath, you as a national, you also have an obligation. You understand? There are various talk shows that you can listen to, various live streams from the different political parties. They all go around and campaign, the manifestos. Now, you may say, buy something, they put things in the manifesto and then they don't fulfill them. Okay. But here is your duty now, to hold your party representative or your constituency representative feet to the fire. You could hold their feet to the fire. Based on what you said in your manifesto on paragraph such and such, on page such and such, why wasn't this done? I'm supposed to be in the vanguard for my constituency, for my constituents. How is it that the elderly people ain't taken care of? How is it there's no provision for the disabled? How is it there's no provision for the impaired? How is it there's no provision for this, no provisions for that? Where is the legislation on this? Where is the policy on that? These are the type of questions you're supposed to be asking your representative when they come to you. Not when they come, oh, you is PAM, come in. Because Labour people can't come in, yeah. And then your PAM representative, 7 years and not a damn thing they deliver. Your Labour representative, 5 years and not a damn thing they deliver. But they still could come in your house. And then when they gone back to the lofty lives on top of the hills in the nice Jeep, you're still a scunt in your ghetto. But yet still you're not a Lego your representative. Man, I said the time has come in St. Kitts and Nevis for people to move away from that kind of thinking. Because the politicians, them getting lazier and lazier. The only thing that they're sharpening up on is how to tell damn lie and how to subvert the truth and not answer questions directly and be pompous and arrogant in the face of any kind of questioning. I mean, look at how they're behaving right now. Man and Man was in government for 7 years. Then they come out spitting fire, say all these things were wrong. But the good things is we do it. The bad things are he do it. Taking credit here, taking credit there, but don't want to take credit for nothing that went wrong. And people supposed to just swallow that garbage. Come on, man. Rastafari right now. Rastafari right now. And you see the rant that went on yesterday, right? About people and what they share. Now, there is another Freedom March scheduled for today. People should start gathering by 2 p.m. because at 3, we take to the streets. We're marching in solidarity with the people who are most affected by the state of affairs that we are currently facing. And that's a lot of people. Whether some people want to admit it, yes or not. It's a lot of people. And yesterday I came on here, blazing, annoyed to high heaven, right? And let me tell you why I was so upset. Because people carrying other people's messages are not their own. Now this morning I get up, there's a poster that is out about the Freedom March. It's been circulated. The same set of people who send me all kind of stupid videos about 90 days and all the Constitution stand. Up to now I can't get the poster for the march from them. I can't see it in the status. You understand? Wake up this morning and me ain't seeing no barrage of posters going around about the Freedom March this afternoon. You understand? The phone now work now. But let somebody had said something last night and you see them a plaster it up and down the place. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I went on the rant yesterday. Carry your own message. The things that definitely and directly affect you. Current bill will kill you. Food prices will kill you. Gas prices will kill you. Tax will kill you. Your small business well want an injection. But yet still, you have a government who is utterly delusional, doesn't want to let go of power, and still isn't in a position to do nothing for you. All you're getting right now is promises from everybody. Because nobody can do nothing for you. For the past 7 years when you wanted things done, nothing could be done for you. You're going to show up to march this afternoon, I hope. Show up to march is your right. All the things what I get in my inbox, oh, EK this, and oh, EK, I want you to talk about this, and oh, EK this, and oh, EK that. When you're going to stand up for yourself, Rasta, the last march was wow. It sent a clear message to the people. It sent a clear message to 27,000 Wendy, a clear message to the CMO, a clear message to the chief, a clear message to Juicy, and a clear message to Timothy. Well, Hammy no care because Hammy now come back again. So Hammy don't give a shit. Hammy now study nothing now nobody. Hammy just want to make sure that he collect his pension. Oh here? And wave a little sugar cake he collect. But the message was absolutely clear. We fed up. Everywhere around the region, everywhere around the world, people are lifting restrictions here and there to make it easier for their nationals and for their visitors. Sorry. Only here in St. Kitts, we're holding on to dear life for this control. And then the one are you? A bunch of egomaniacs. The credibility shot to high heaven. The pandemic fast, then the honorarium that they didn't tell us about that had to be leaked, otherwise we'd have never know that they collect them kind of money there. And now they want to come back and stand up in front of people, both they talk to people in a professional manner. Oh, the science says. What damn science? What science? Both you Irving and this side of caution, but yet still we got 100 and something people. How the hell he come in here? Where he come from? All these strict measures are you have in place to protect us from the COVID-19, and yet still we numbers the rise ever so often. And the only thing I could come up with is, oh, complacency. The complacency still happens. Here talk about complacency. Complacency. And you see them up and down without mask. Not even he that got on none now. They go to the press conference, then a hand no mask. The music festival, then a hand no mask. But he want to come tell you about complacency. Nobody is studying a COVID now. People want to get on with their lives. People's lives been affected so big. People just want to move on with their goddamn lives and start to get some kind of semblance of the quote-unquote normalcy that they say we would get back to if we get to herd immunity. And then one day they just come and say, well, herd immunity is no longer a thing. Okay, so if herd immunity is no longer a thing, when the normalcy going to come back again? When are you going to start poppy shy yourself again, boy? You got to grant people permission to come to the country? This stupid ass COVID requirement and all them damn stupidness there. Everybody about this shit. Everybody done away with it based on what they're seeing now. It's only this poppy show government here. No one to leg or nothing. They want to always be in control of something. Well, here what? I was never one for revenge. But I say once the government change, all of them should be asked to resign. Every last one of them. Let them go find something to do. Every last one of them. I'm going to be calling for that. I never, ever try to call for that because I was never one to want to, mash up people's lives. But if them there could mash up people's life and get compensated handsomely for it, well, then we should ask them to resign because they don't get enough. Just like how they were saying, oh, we're going to hire Ike for music festival because he don't make enough money on the labor. Well, I don't make enough money on the unity. Time for it to go now. The greatest atrocities. People lose their sanity, their job, bye. You know the amount of things people lose because of these people and their foolishness? And today they're coming back with this. Bye. What's the fuck? Why me want to swear some bad up in this man, Trust me, Tut Mun Sam and Bagay, the last match they had, They say only old people in there. Well, wait. Well, what the voters list say? That if you're old, you can't vote? So only young people supposed to vote? Huh. So because they got a youthful crowd following them, as far as they're concerned, old people no matter no more. You hear the ideology of these people? But a man gonna watch me in my face and tell me he's a PLP. By what ideology PLP got? We welcome all, but then throw Rashidi out to the chat because Rashidi say, I have a problem and we need a meeting to address it. Address what? By go to our chat. You are a volunteer, go ahead. Just like how they dismiss Sam, they dismiss Dougie, dismiss Dwyer, Clecton Phillip, dismiss Sean, dismiss... That's a PLP ideology. Once you have a disagreement with us, to hell with you. That is what the ideology is based on. Look at the record of their leader. How the hell you could be a Tambo, you're a PLP? What your ideology based in? People first? How? Well, you better Jesus Christ, he come and just give everybody money. It better Jesus to just come and give everybody money. Here's $50. Here's $500. Take this. Don't forget, you got to go to heaven. No teachings. No teachings. Nothing tall. You not teach a man of fish. So you go where you come back with your studies. And the best option for you is to go on this step for 2 years. Minimum wage. So you can make up your mind what you want to do in life. That's a PLP ideology. When we say big people, but them are follow PLP. Big people. What is the ideology? What it is based on? What do they believe in? Look at how they have treated anybody who even offer just a small objection to anything. They dismiss you. They put you out of their ranks. They say they welcome all, but only if you adhere to the foolishness where them do and where them attack. That's how they welcome all. By adhering to, if you ain't agree with us, see you. Ain't no conflict resolution, ain't no forgiveness. Once you ain't agree with us, take your ass out of our party. That's the philosophy. That's the ideology. What are you subscribing to? Oh, well, we don't need that. We just love Timothy. Well, that's a cult, family. Even in churches, you have that. They only go into a certain church, because the pastor, he dresses nice and he talks nice. So my pastor. It's supposed to be your God, your God, your God. I mean, listen to the very candidates, them. They cannot give a clear thought about themselves unless they give some kind of credence or big ups to the leader. So who are they without their leader? They don't have an identity. They don't have an original thought. Every time they got to be bigging up the leader. Before they could finish a complete thought, they have to big up the leader. People open now your eyes and realize what's going on here. Sometimes Jada put her in a position so we could open we eyes. When Labour lost in 2015, I'm going to make a confession. I wasn't mad, and I wasn't glad either. I certainly wasn't surprised because I saw it coming. And I said to myself, this is a perfect opportunity for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis to pay attention, to have a compare and contrast, because Labour was in for quite a very long time. quite a very long time, near 2 generations. So some people only had an example of labor. Some of them never live under PAM, so they don't have an example of that. Where now you have lived under labor, you have lived under the quote-unquote unity. You are seeing the revelation of all the shit that went down in that government. So you have an opportunity to compare and contrast. Pay attention. You mean to tell me that now you have an example of how a government should not be run? You still can't hear? You still don't understand? Up to this morning, I went to look breakfast. Hear some people talking about the Haitians and the Spanish. I don't even think that I listen to anything else. And this is the problem that I have with people who overseas. They don't listen to everything. They probably don't understand. But yet still they want to have a say and take part in our process. And they go out to the highest bidder. But that can't be a way to choose a government. That cannot be a way to choose a government. So to any Haitian who think that he can just walk into a constituency and go in a line and think that he can vote, you better think twice. You better think twice. Whether you got your idea or not, you better think twice. And anybody who is from here, who have a problem with that, and you're born here, you live here, you rear here, but yet you're going to hold this ridiculous notion that, oh, me not vote because all them just alike. That may very well be so. But you have an opportunity to choose and unchoose until you get the right one. I say we should change the government every 5 years. I don't care how good the government that was in performed. Change them still. Keep them on their toes. Just like how the guys hopping and skipping, wondering that if this government change, if I gonna get sent home too. One day if I say something, so they got us living in fear. Put the fear back into them. Whether you use PAM, whether you use labor, put the fear back into them. Not let them get comfortable and pompous with you. That's why they could want to talk to you how they want to talk to you. That's why Eugene could afford to give partner over to the bad word. Because he not care no more. When they come in for the job, they meek and they mild. And then when they get the job now, they pompous, they arrogant, they antagonistic, disrespectful. I mean, a man was trying to ask Mark Brantley a question. And he make fun of the man. But what? And the man tell him, sir, I'm a voter, you know. But the mere fact that he know he got supporters, that even if he spit in the goddamn face, spit in the mother face, they're still going to support him. That is why he could afford to talk to another citizen, another national in that manner. Because the politicians have become so comfortable that they know they don't need to do anything at all to have support. They know that they could say whatever the hell they want and they will get back in and they will get support. And we have given them that comfort to them. The time has come to take it back. The politicians are there to serve us, not lord over us. They are there to serve us. And somewhere along the line, we gave them this power that they can do to us, say to us, whatever the hell they feel like, without consequences, because they know they have backings. This morning I go into Facebook, see Obi put up a picture or a video with Timothy Harris in church, speaking on the pulpit. And he up there saying, oh, he's leading by example, that everybody can go to church and bow before God and the omnipotence. All them things there sound good. All them things there sound good. But guess what? Hitler used to go to church on a regular. Hitler had his Bible with him on a regular. You hear? And look at the atrocities he commit against his fellow man. So going to church ain't mean a goddamn thing, because some of the most horrible people that I have known in my lifetime were Christians. Lie bad. And some of them even thief no ass. And a Christian they be. Some of the freakiest people I have known are Christian they be. So being a Christian and going to church doesn't absolve you of a lot of things. But that's the notion and the thing they used to pull over your eye. That once you go to church, that you are above reproach. You don't do no wrong. That's a misconception. Once you're a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher or a policeman, you can't do no wrong. And you don't deserve any kind of questioning. How dare you? Well, that has proven itself to be utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. When the 27,000 Phipps wrote a cabinet submission to pay herself for a volunteer work that she kept lamenting was a volunteer work. And they even had the decency to come to the general public to tell us, look, someone has put forward that the people who work on the task force with the COVID-19 pandemic somehow should get an honorarium. Didn't come to the general public to tell us that. You hear? We only know because they fall out. Spencer Brand got his project. We only know because they fall out. The prison. And when I hear Pam and Sissy talk about prison deal, man, I was right there. Is how you approve it. Or you approve it and I ain't even come to the general public and say, okay, this was done and this is how it's going to be done. Or you let things fester and then I come out to rattle one another. And I must ask CCM and Pam a question or two. They feel as though nobody should question them. Just follow us. Just be on our side. Don't question anything that we do. Anything good that happens in the government is we do it, but anything bad is Timothy alone. All I were responsible. It was a cabinet. That's what I said to people I going to do. To keep an eye on each other, to make sure that corruption doesn't have any mainstay in our government. And now all that you're hearing is all the nastiness we used to go on inside here. And somehow we must just absolve all of them and just move right along. And the reason why they can push this garbage on us is because they know they have supporters who will go along with anything that they say. Well, not me, you know. Because I might be a supporter of the Labour Party, but if they chat fart, I'm going to tell them they chat fart. Whether publicly or behind closed doors, I'm going to tell them they chat fart. Because what they going to do me? Works with me? They can't show me out the party coming and a member. And they can't show me out in the chat room coming in them chat room. Me keep me support to a certain level. And me don't sit down and eat and knock glass and drink with them neither. Me keep to myself because me want when me have an opinion about something, if me see something that requires addressing publicly, I want the freedom to address it. Me not murmur like some people. Some people, such big party supporters that even if they see the representative murder somebody, they think it hard to come forward and give evidence against them. Your representative might be your friend or whatever. But they got them so friend and so close-knit that they don't even want to tell them when they're talking and they're doing shit. Well, I don't have that problem. And it is by design why I don't have the problem. Some people out here depend solely on their representative to be in power so they could eat and live good. Not me. So if Labour do shit, me could say they do shit. And if they want to work, it's their business. But I think you're doing shit. And I say it. Somehow you would think it, somehow you would shush it under your breath, but you dare not say it publicly. Otherwise, all your pokes and all your hug up and all your picture and all your little inside joke them gone because the politician them ain't gonna accept it from all you. I sure you see me tell Dr. G to his face, me ain't gonna be accepting no shit from him as no leader. He gonna come up. He gonna got to come up because he ain't gonna embarrass me. Somehow you can't say that to your leader. Are you afraid? Imagine Douglas was there. Me a radio host. Me listen to all talk shows. Every time you as a Labour person raise a point, raise any issue about anything what's going on in the country, the first thing them PAM, CCM, and PLP people want to tell you, oh, Douglas are your leader, and Douglas was in charge when this, and that happened. Without proper context. Because they couldn't give you none. And added to that, the smart people them advise Douglas, don't respond. The people will understand. That's the best advice they could have given Douglas. And he take it. And so said, so done. Well, if me out here trying to bring light to issues and trying to question a government, and every time you ask them a question, they remind you about Dougie. Well, what the next best thing to do? Now tell Dougie, please excuse me, so that when I go after these bastards, they don't have you to throw in my face. Mr. So in no uncertain terms. And who in works, I don't give a shit. Lot of Labour people, you never hear them. You don't even know where the hell they come from. They never call into no talk show to defend Dougie name. They never write on the Facebook to defend Dougie name. But now you're asking Dougie, partner, please to step aside so we could go after these people how we want to go after them, and they would not have to use you as an excuse or a scapegoat. And then all of a sudden they jump up now, oh, left Dougie. Sounds so damn stupid. And you see, cool so. Easy just so. Douglas not the leader no more. And rightly so, he's in the background. Dr. Drew forward. And these set of stupid puppies still can't let go this. Douglas still, this and Douglas still at that. Let me tell you again. Nobody in PAM, CCM, or PLP could tell Labour anything about leadership. Because for 7 years, they were the tail, Timothy was the dog. And he whacked the shit out of them. So who is them to come and tell anybody about leadership? They're in no moral position to tell anybody about no leadership. None whatsoever. They say get rid of Dougie. Okay, Dougie's not the leader no more. They still have a problem. Timothy broke in their backside and they still have watch a talk about Dougie. But just say all that to show you, me not afraid to say what me say. Because I know what I was facing out there. Me not afraid to say what me say. And who don't like it too bad. And just so me not afraid to ask none of them a question. My passport got on saying it's a Nevis, and if I feel like to ask Nevis minister something, I ask him a question because my passport got on saying it's a Nevis. And them make the point, not me. If you want fair share of the CBI money because your name on the passport, well, I am entitled to ask you, how the hell are you managing and spending Nevis money because my passport got on saying it's a Nevis? Don't shit me up. And any CCM supporter who don't want to abide by that, that are your problem, that are your business. Me live a me and you live a you. If you blinded because of your support, well, do God bless you. But let me remind you that you are in a vision. your passport says St. Kitts and Nevis, not CCM. When you travel, you say you're on a vision. Your passport not says CCM. So if you're not concerned about your country and your country's welfare and want to put the best people to run your affairs, well, that's a matter for you. But for the rest of us who would want to see Nevis move in leaps and bounds, we have to lobby for that. And if who you support is in the way of that, but then they got to get their ass cracking too. And if you're upset about that, you take it to the Lord in prayer. Because you have some soul searching to do. Can you truly say that your country, your island has moved? Can you truly say, based on international standards, can you truly say that your country is being managed properly? And if your answer is yes, well, okay, fine. But for the rest of us who are blinded by blind party support, we're going to ask questions. And if your party representative can't provide the answer for it, well then, to God be the glory, the two of you. But we're going to ask questions. And don't tell us who to ask questions. Because you can't tell me that Nevis got 3 federal seats. 5 or 4? 4 or 5. They control the NIA. They control the federal seats. And yet still you want to convince me that 8 people, 7 people put together can come up with some ideas to move Nevis forward. And somehow it's the sole fault of one man. Well, if that makes plausible sense to you, you need not to be having no conversation with nobody about politics. Because I don't see how that could make sense. You have 2 bites of the cherries. 2. Maybe some people don't understand what their federal roles are. And that is why we're in this state of affairs. People don't understand what their roles are. What the Constitution says that they should be about their role. The people gave you a mandate, yes. But once you get into that seat, you check the Constitution and the Constitution will tell you exactly what you need to do. That's the highest law of the land. That's why I don't want to see no video about nobody say, oh, this the Constitution says. What will the Constitution say about your job? And what your responsibilities are? So just give your money just so because you think of you when you entitled to it, but don't ask nothing about it. That's what you're trying to tell us. So you don't want to have any kind of accountability. And the people who you're supposed to have accountability to don't ask enough serious questions. Oh, okay. Well, if I saw life go. If I saw life go. Well, I don't know. And so, people must begin to get to the point where they can truly say, hey, I am in a vision, I am a petition first. And yes, I may love my party. Yes, I may love my representative. But guess what? I love my country more. And when I sit down and I analyze and I assess the state of affairs in my country, this is what I come up with. And if you're not doing that, then you don't need to be in a conversation with nobody. Because you can't tell me that you love your party more than you love your country. How you could tell me that? How that makes sense to you? So you're just out here defending for what? You still got water problem. Your current bill still a strangle. I mean, when we look at them people, current bill in an Evis. Hi, you say me ask ya. Well. That can be some people current bill. That cannot be some people current bill. And you got a government up there sit down. Nah do nothing. And just blame everybody in a sink it. Every time an election come around in Nevis, it's one tactic these people using. Somebody fault in a sink it. Somebody in a sink it not like you. Every election is the same goddamn thing with these people. Create animosity between the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And now you not see it. Their go-to thing is create animosity between the people of St. Kitts and the people of Nevis. And when it suits them, it's Nevis first. Nevis first. And you don't sit on your ass for 7 years. And not put Nevis first. Now you come and you want to present Sean to us as the next Prime Minister. When Sean had a chance to put Nevis first, he not do it. But all of a sudden, he going to put Nevis first now because what? He want to be the Prime Minister. So unless he's the Prime Minister, he can't put Nevis first. And the same shit Timothy pull panawi. It's the same shit how you help Timothy to pull on us. Why we in this mess right now? He had to be Prime Minister in order to get this done and get that done. Everything bad was Timothy, but everything bad was Douglas, but everything good was Timothy. Now he's the Prime Minister. He taking full responsibility for the good things, but anything that he couldn't get done, Pam and Sissy him in a time. You know, see all them a confusion? How that could make any sense to any right-thinking person? And I was contacted yesterday, and I'm pleased to inform everybody here that come next week, we will be having a conversation with the leader of the People's Action Movement. Because these are things that needs to be explained to the people. And if you can't explain these things to the people, if you can't offer a proper explanation to these people, how could you be comfortably putting up yourself again? These are the questions. If you can answer truthfully and properly, no problem. No problem. But if you don't have an answer, we need to know about the intricate working of the previous administration. How are you used to discuss things? Why this? Why that? How come this wasn't explained to the general public when this was going on? That now we have to be in this state because them will blame you and you will blame them. So what really happened? Well, we know we not get no explanation from Timothy Harris. Because every show here cancel right now. Everything I cancel right now and I postpone. Well, by what is your do? And then you show up in church. Oh, me Jesus. Timothy, if you did listen to Ike, you'll never find yourself in that position, yeah. But you don't hear. You do not hear. Auntie Tracy, me camera them now work this man in daddy bow. Something wrong with me modem and my Wi-Fi. So, no camera on this morning, but just listen to the sound of my voice. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Listen to the tone. Visualize for a moment, if you will, the state of affairs of our country. And according to Mr. Pemberton, the debacle that we have found ourselves in. The debacle. I know you got some CCM people that like hear me talk so. But the truth is what the truth is, and the truth cannot lie. And reality is what it is. You can use words to shape reality. And that is the luxury of language. That you can use words to shape reality. But what you can't do is keep it up all the time. Because truth cannot lie. And the facts would always bear out. Time tried to bury our history as kings and queens of this earth, Africans. And the white people have run with the story. And it's the same white people who are digging up tombs, unearthing civilizations, very complex, very old, contrary to what they've been trying to tell us for the longest while. So if it ain't now, it must come out sometime in history of what actually took place during them 7 years. And if you truly love Nevis, you truly love St. Kitts and St. Kitts, you're supposed to send a clear message to these politicians. Go back to the drawing board and come again, Rasta. Go back to the drawing board and come again. If you truly love your country, go back to the drawing board and come again. We understand that you tried your best, but we're going to try something else different. So go get your act together and come back. They can't get the act together in a different government where they just come out. People, it makes no sense. I know people going to vote how they want to vote, but I still got to say it. It makes no sense. They were just in there. They were just in there. So the things that they're now promising you and suggesting to you that they're going to do in a new and real team unity government, well, why the hell you couldn't get it done in this one? And if you realize that things wasn't working out in your favor for the first 5 years, why the hell you went back with the man in 2020? So we can't understand. And I keep saying it, you know. If Mark Brantley had said to us in a 2020 that he is removing his CCM support, his CCM party, from Team Unity because of such and such, we would have tear Timothy ass to pieces. And if Pamna in follow CCM, we'd have tear the two of them ass to pieces. But he didn't do that. He didn't put Nevis first in 2020. I don't know if he was able to get his nationals home for 2020. And so it didn't bother him. He just really wanted to win. But you can't tell me that you're putting Nevis first when you sit down with a man who's 7 years, who you say, not we say, who you say, ain't give Nevis the fair share. He gave you something, but not your fair share. Every month, 2 point something mil plus. And you tell her, where the hell that they be? That they could barely cover the salary for the government. There's something wrong. That clearly shows to me that you're not collecting enough revenue to pay your bills. Don't suppose Timothy was as worthless and vagabondish and as bad mind as you say, and didn't send over the 2 to something mil every month. Well, what will become a Nevis people, man? What would have become a Nevis people? You are not collecting enough revenues on your island. You are not generating enough revenue to pay your bills. I mean, and that's Timothy's fault? Me supposed to believe that there? Me not defend Timothy because me know who Timothy be a long time. Me tell you who Timothy be. With 7 long years, me tell I who Timothy be. 7 years, me tell I who Timothy be. I listen? No. I defend. I say here the best prime minister in the region, as if me and Matlin are in the region. In my humble opinion, and I could be wrong, because I mean I live Barbados, but from the news that I'm seeing and I'm hearing, that's the most progressive and conscious-minded prime minister in the region. The rest of them, I think the new one we just gone in Grenada, he seems promising. But for the rest of them, they got the same old-time-ish colonial mentality that only them one supposed to lead. Only them one could do it. Semi-ass. Something wrong in the country hereby. Only them one. And they prefer to die with it in their hand. Well. Anyway, people, I don't intend to stay here until 11 o'clock this morning. I just really wanted to come and have a chit-chat with people and just remind people why they are marching this afternoon. For the past 7 years, it has been atrocious with this government. Scandals after scandals after scandals. The mismanagement and the mistreatment of the civil service. Our CBI program. Imagine Timothy on a platform attack say that when he's re-elected as a PLP Prime Minister, he's going to reform and upgrade and make better the CBI program. But should Timothy not travel in such a long time to no international forum? He don't realize that the international world pushing back against the CBI thing. And it's not because it's a bad thing. But what is happening is that the rich people in the different countries, they want to hold on to more of their money as opposed to paying taxes with it. Listen to what Kevin Hart said. You do a movie, you do a deal, you do a show, you make millions of dollars. Let's say you made $50 million from a movie. The $50 million is not yours. Half of that $50 million belongs to the government, the IRS, tax. So you did $50 million worth of work and you owe the government $25 million. So he says, bust your earnings in half, put half in your whole half, you take one half and you forget about it. Just put it in an account and call it your tax account. So when the government comes, that's the check you write them from that account there. Because half belongs to them. Right? So, the other 25 million that you got left back, bust that in two, and you put 12.5 million in an account for you, and 12.5 mil in an investment account. You don't know what the investment is, but you just rest it down there for that. Now, this is millions of dollars we're talking about, eh? Now, if you work for $2,500, half belongs to the government. The other half is bills. And what you're left back with, and people want to tell you, oh, save something for winning. What do you ask you're going to save? But anyhow, so these rich people, instead of paying that 25 mil to the government, or instead of paying all of that to the government, they take some of that money and they reinvest it somewhere else around the world, get another citizenship for ease of travel. Because most of these Caribbean islands have visa-free access to a lot of countries. When I tell you a lot. So if you up and down with a St. Kitts Nevis passport, you're in good shape. Once you could afford it, you could go to a lot of countries. Some of these countries, that some of these rich people from, they need visas to go to these countries. We don't need the visa. It ain't no good for us because if you're poor, you can't go there. So the lot of visa-free access that Mark claimed that he get for us, for we passport, not even a third, not even two of them countries the ordinary man in St. Kitts and Nevis could ever travel to in his lifetime. The man called some name of me not himself no. And me know a good bit of things. But he called some name of some countries that me not himself no exist. But when are we going to reach them country there? Me show a ticket to reach them country there. Way more than some people paycheck. By far. So, me don't know how I will reach them thing there. But, that's the way man say. Oh yeah? So, take it for what you want. Or take it for what you will. The fact of the matter is, half of them country there, man not even reach them. But for rich people, it is accessible. So when Timothy say that he going to reform and revamp and make the CBI better, buy the CBI anyway out, you were supposed to be finding alternative means to take some of the money that we get from the CBI and reinvest it, a sovereign fund, like what Douglas had planned for us. Put it in a Swiss bank or something, like gather some money for generations to come. But no, we take out Douglas quick before Douglas could put all them things in place. We was trying to set up a Libyan bank. Gaddafi had Libya pumping and going. And they killed Gaddafi because of that. You understand? This is what these big nations do. They protect the investment. They don't really want nobody gonna kind of investment to mirror theirs. So they come up with all kind of shenanigans. Oh, they blacklist you for this, they blacklist you for that. It's their World Bank, so they put pressure on these people to make sure that, you know, they could change plans and policies as they go along. Wait. Ladies and gentlemen, hold tight. I have to take a short break. Sorry about that. I had to take an important call there. I was waiting on that telephone call for quite a while. So, yes. Trey says, somebody just mentioned me, said they offended. Let me go see what it is I say to offend them, because once me offend you, me not apologize, because me think long and hard about what I say before me say no. So, let me go see what the person here say. I'm coming to you, darling. Man, come up now. Oh, post not that about a picture. No, they're going to be all right. So, people, if you pay attention to what is happening around the world, what Timothy said really and truly don't make no sense. We should have been finding alternative ways and means, but you see, if people don't read, if people don't understand what happened around the world, anything that these politicians say would just make you say, yeah! And you don't even know what you're saying yeah for. You don't even know what you're saying yeah for. You hear Mark jump up and say, oh, this election is about Nevis and fair share. Imagine St. Kitts was sending over $5.5 million every month to Nevis. $5.5 million. To Nevis every single month. It moved from 3.5 to 5.5. Mark ain't come and tell us this. We only know this now because shit fall apart. So if you do the maths, 5.5 times 12, that's $66 million a year. Times 7, that's $462 million. Before, well, many of us know when he went to 5.5. But just do the maths. If he was 5.5 for the 7 budgets that they passed, is 400 and something mil. If he was 3 point something for the first 2-3 years, and then you tack on the 5.5 something, by well over 300 mil for the time Team Unity has been in office. You hear? But yet still he want you as an vision, you as a CCM supporter, to roil up and carry on and go on with all kind of things. Because somebody in a kickback Nevis face here. Bye. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. What about you?
I keep trying. Yes, on the matter with Spencer Brand and the Premier and his cabinet and everybody else, I find it very disconcerting that a matter of this importance, where everybody's speaking about this issue, the Premier has yet to give an official statement as to the actions of his cabinet and his colleague. I find it very disconcerting, EK, that he continues to say he's going to put Nevis first, but yet in his own cabinet, they're all compromised with this conflict of interest. And while the actions of Mr. Brand and the cabinet colleagues, other cabinet colleagues might not be illegal, certainly it's deeply unethical because they have been hiding this fact, this business of Mr. Brand for so a long time. They have not disclosed it in any of the estimates that they've published since 2014. Nowhere is Atlantic View Hotel being mentioned in any document, except that after we discovered from what the Prime Minister said, that's how the world knew, that's how we knew.
Mm-hmm.
And so I find it very, very sad that our party leader, Dr. Janice Nanyana, wrote to the Commission of Integrity Public Life Commission, got a response, and nowhere in that time period the Premier has been fit to address the nation, address Nevis on the matters that are occurring in before our eyes. But yet he wants us to trust him to go back to St. Kitts to do what? I have no clue. Now, let us look at this thing seriously about this hotel development. You have a $120 million approved project. Mr. Brand is not a hotel by any stretch of the imagination. He's an architect. But he has now in his control an asset worth $120 million. And I foresee the time will come very shortly where he's going to try to sell that asset to some developer, probably perhaps in China or Russia or somewhere, and get what he believes is a windfall, which will be a windfall. But what about the other members of the cabinet? What will they get? If you go to Daniel Brantley's website, you will see prominently posted there the fact that they specialize in CBI processing. And Brand being a colleague and subordinate of the Premier, guess who's going to handle those? Based on current figures, the least that I'm told that DBL will get for processing those 220 passports in the first instance is about $12 million. And then you have another $3 or $4 million in legal fees. What will Zook get? What will Eric get? What will the rest of them get? They all will get something from the deal because they're all in this together. They've been trying to keep it quiet. The Premier believes by not speaking about it, it will disappear. It will not. Our party leader intends to pursue another letter to the Integrity in Public Life because, as the chairman said in a response to her, that the law, the ordinance passed in Nevis in 2018 was gutted. They removed that important part of the provisions of the regulations that empowered the commission to investigate matters of malfeasance. So he has pointed the way, and we intend to pursue that. So I would like to send a strong recommendation to the Premier that he is not just the Premier of his cabinet, he's the Premier of the island of Nevis. His obligation is not just to his colleagues, but to the people of Nevis. And he owes us, the people of Nevis, an explanation as to what transpired, their thinking and the obligation and their responsibilities. Because you would think a matter of this importance, as we have seen with other Caribbean countries, in Dominica, in Montserrat, in Antigua and Barbuda, people are being held to account. Ministers are being held to account by their own prime minister. And so we are awaiting the revelations by Mr. Brandley as to what occurred, what will be the course of action taken to settle this matter with Mr. Brand. Thank you, EK. Have a blessed day.
All right, thank you so much for that update. But you see, this is what I'm speaking about. Remember how in Nevis they say, oh, Hector build a house and something. And they hammer that and they hammer it and they hammer it and they hammer it and they hammer it. They no get a break. Hector ain't do much to defend himself neither, just like Douglas. Maybe he smart people and tell him, don't defend yourself neither, because the people will understand that it's rubbish. And people literally believe that shit. But no, man and man don't want to talk about this thing with Spencer Brand. Whether it was approved before, the fact of the matter is, when he became a minister, it was still in the works. And it got a further approval. You understand? But nobody want to talk about it because what? It's a CCM man do it, so therefore, it's all right. So it's not okay for it to be even suggested about an NRP man. But if a CCM man do it, are you just grudge? This is the mentality, are you? I bet before Timothy dropped that day, not even are you who were the biggest and the closest to CCMites knew that this was in the works. I bet I didn't know. I bet my last dollar. Oh, you didn't know. So these men steady, moving up the financial ladder. And what is into are you? And at the same way, just like how the prison is being funded, at the same way he project can be funded too. At Timothy's economy. So all of them in there, no one had a secret. But thank God they fall out. God, you work in mysterious ways. You walk slow, but it's sure. So come March. We gather in at 2:30. The march moves off at 3. We don't want to be late because we know how these people operate. They might stop you mid-march to break your momentum. They say they're working with time. So make sure you come early. We march in. Arise. We want to see the backs of these people. They had their time. They thought that they said they're going to come with a paradigm shift. Well, they really did shift. They shift into a higher gear. So this afternoon, come out in your numbers. If you've been working in the civil service for so long, up to now you can't get an appointment. But as you turn around, you see somebody in an orange shirt walk through the door and they're gone in front of you. Come out to march. Everywhere you look, you see orange. And now you're there toil. You can't get a promotion in your ministry. You can't go up on a trip. You can't get this, you can't get that because of some bad mind person in an orange. And as you look around, you see somebody else come. See a letter just come out about weeks, Lord of mercy. And weeks up and abuse everybody. Hear what the human resource letter say about weeks. Me nah read it. Because they wouldn't read me Psalms. Mother. They wouldn't read me Psalms. I promise you that. Not even the minimum academic qualifications for entry. Oh, you look at me, Jalawa. Everywhere you turn around, you see a orange shutter walk into a position. And not even the minimum. Why? Well. This cannot be life. And you want to tell me you don't want match? You could watch me in my face and tell me with a straight face, with your orange shirt on, that you for young people, you for the advancement of people first. We welcome all. But people who've been busting their tail in the civil service for years can't get a position because what? Somebody in an orange shirt just walked through the back door and gone in front of you. You will see people in orange shirt walk in front of people. And you want to convince me that you love people. Okay then. In a Jesus' name, I bid you adieu. Not even the minimum academic qualifications for entry into the civil service. Maddy Ross. No, Doggy, you say it yourself because you say it better than me. Yeah, Doggy, come. Come through.
I said, yes.
Mother, this cannot be live. Well. Oh, me Jesus. Oh. Well. People, I going to wash my skin, you see, before the water go, and set up myself for go march. I go in march early. I want to be the first in the march. You hear? And I hope Timothy come march too, because I want him march to get rid of Pam and CCM. And I want CCM and Pam come march to get rid of Timothy. All of you come march this afternoon. All of you. If Pam and CCM wants to get rid of Timothy, I come match. Timothy, if you want to get rid of Pam and CCM, tell the PLPites come match. I want to see all orange shirts in the session today. Paint the town orange. We come to match. But you got to wear red though. But I want to see a lot of PLP people in the match in your red shirt. Let's go. Don't be afraid. Time up. Time up. And time is up for me as well. I gone. People, enjoy the rest of your day. Right? And make sure you show up to the march today. I want to see you. Even if you don't want to put on a shot, show up. Walk down the road with Harvey. If you're not getting on the way with walk down the road with Harvey. Come. Walk down the road with Harvey. Let's go. When we done march today, somebody's supposed to piss their skin. When we done march today, somebody's supposed to end up JNF pan oxygen. Fighting so till. We want to see numbers, people. People like to ball about numbers. Well, let me see some numbers this afternoon. A page in everybody. Let's go. Again, have yourself a blessed day. I go and go get ready.